Hello, Monsters Abound, and welcome to Gladiator Guild Manager, a game about managing a gladiator guild, like Football Manager, except less violent, probably. So this is a game, it came out on the 14th of October, it's currently in early access, it's at the princely price point of about £7.50. So actually, pretty good, and I've really enjoyed, I've played a few hours of this, I really enjoy it so far, with some caveats, as always. So let's just get straight into it. So we're going to start a new game. We're going to start with random gladiator buildings. So you have various different buildings that you can construct that allow you to recruit different types of gladiator. If you randomize it, obviously your starting lineup can be very different depending on which game you start. There's also permanent death. I would advise not picking that one because it is, in my opinion, overly brutal. And you can also pick your team color. And there's a tutorial there, but I'm not going to worry about that because I've already done it. So we're going to get straight into it.
You're the new guild owner, I hear.
Yep.
Welcome to Deadwoods.
Thanks, that's me.
Great. We have a few buildings left over by the previous owner. Take a look around.
Got it.
Anyway, I'm Slyn, your guild assistant.
Nice to meet
Let
you.
me give you a heads up. Gladiator championships are organized at the start of each month.
Probably something I should already know as a manager.
There's the old arena named the Ring of Death. We can join the action there each week. They organize a variety of different fight types.
Well, that sounds delightful.
And lastly, the Deadwoods has its fair share of problems. Bandits, beasts, feral undead. So expect to be contacted and asked for deadly gladiator services outside of the arena.
Deadly gladiator services at a cheap price point. That's what we are. Sure, let's get started and hire some gladiators. So, here is our map. There's a lot going on here, I realise. But once you kind of like get the idea, it's fairly basic when you get down to it. So we have 3 different reputations here. Reputation with the people, with the Baroness, and with the High Necromancer. These guys will give you missions occasionally, and doing a mission for one will potentially annoy the others. Sometimes there's a chain of events. So, for example, there was a mission from the people. There was a troll on the bridge. I killed the troll. Then the Baroness came and say, "Why did you kill my tax collector?" That kind of thing. So, doing a mission for one you can turn them down as well. I personally wouldn't because there's not really enough events in this game, in my opinion. But we'll get to that. We've also got time. So time sort of increases. There we go, it's going on. We'll pause that for the moment because obviously we're having a look around. You have different resources. You've got gold, you've got woods, you've got stone, iron, and mana crystals. You've got items shop down here. So this is your sort of inventory. You can equip your gladiators. And you have your guild. So this is your guild. This is where you've got all your buildings. So you can see for the moment we've got a mace wielder hut, we've got a hunter cabin, and we've got a taming hall. So we can recruit mace orcs, ranger dwarfs, and doggos. And we've also got a tavern where you can occasionally get the option to recruit sort of gladiators who you wouldn't normally be able to recruit. So, for example, bandits and stuff. You can't recruit those normally, but occasionally you'll get an event where you get the option to recruit some if you have that building. And we have a reviving temple as well down here. So if our gladiators get killed, they will just sort of take some time to recover. Obviously, if you have the permanent death on, they're dead. And your gladiator can die very easily, so it's, quite nasty. You've also got gladiator slots, so we currently have 4 slots, but you can have quite a few, up to 36. You've also got the item slots increase. You can upgrade that with wood and stone. Increasing the buildings or upgrading them will increase the inventory slots on your gladiators and the experience gain, so you definitely want to do that at some point. And you can also build new ones. So, for example, we could build like a frost tower that will allow us to recruit these cryomancers. So let's have a look at the gladiator market. So we start off with various different gladiators available, all hodgepodge. And just because these guys look the same, they are not. So for example, this warg is just a normal one. This warg, however, is an old vampire, which means damaging enemy restores 5% of maximum health, which is quite good. They also have different stats. So you've got strength, agility, intelligence, health, stamina, and movement. And they have different abilities that they can do. So, for example, our warg Tsar here has bite, so he can bite an enemy dealing 76 damage. If you hover over there, you can see what stats will affect that. So if we increase strength, it'll give him ×5. Agility is +3. And down here, we can see that the execution time is reduced by agility, and the cooldown time is reduced by intelligence. Each attack has a stamina cost. Stamina goes down during the battle. It will replenish during a battle, but for example, if you spend all your stamina, then no matter what your cooldown or execution time is, the little gladiator will be waiting for your stamina to replenish before you can attack again. So there are, especially casters have this issue, where you may have like a very fast casting caster, but if they don't have the stamina reserves, it doesn't matter because they'll only be able to cast as fast as their stamina will recover. You also have movements, that's how fast they move in the arena, and of course their health is how much damage they can take. So, you know, all the stats are useful. Some stats are better for some characters than other. For example, agility is actually quite useful for a necromancer because it reduces the cooldown on their spells, and their spells have quite large cooldowns. So obviously you don't want them to be waiting there to cast Raise Dead. You give them a lot of agility, they'll actually be able to raise a lot of dead during a potential match. So that's an option. So we're going to start with this boy here. So we're going to buy him. He's 250. He's quite expensive, but we're going to go for it. You are frenzied, so you get additional strength upon killing an enemy, which is really good. So we're going to get you as well. And what about you? What's this? Strength is reduced. Do you use strength? So strength will increase it by 3, agility by 2. We could just stack agility. Having said that, fires a bunch of bullets, dealing it. That's a lot of. Probably don't want that guy then. He's probably not going to be that useful. We could just go for the level 1-1. Can we go for the level 1-1? Just go for him. We don't have to do this. We could go for it. We could go for another mace guy if we wanted to. I might do that actually. So the mace guys have 2 attacks. They've got a mace attack, which has a minimum range. And they've also got a melee attack, which does less damage. It deals more damage against bleeding enemies. Interesting. So do you do bleeding damage? I know someone does bleeding damage. Okay, maybe we'll get this guy. We'll go with something like that. That seems fine. Then we can go to the item market. So this is where we can buy some items. You get items for completing missions and matches as well, but you've always got the item market. You can buy stuff here. As you complete different monthly arenas, the item market will get better items in it. So we could maybe go with... So what do we like here? So you kind of want strength, intelligence, and agility. I mean, you probably want strength more than anything else. Strength is probably your main stat. Agility you don't need as much of. So I go, you probably want strength and then a little bit of intelligence just to try and reduce that cooldown on your melee attack. And mace attack, because at the moment it's every 1.4 seconds. So probably want to reduce that a little bit. Worn out boots is quite nice because that increases movement speed and stamina. So you know what, we'll buy that. And we've only got 95. I'm going to go with the softly enhanced ring. Let's do something like that. So we're going to give you that and that. So that's already reduced the cooldown, and it's also made you move faster. We could actually give the boots to the warg, but he's actually quite fast anyway, so I'm not so worried about that. Okay. So we've also got a bank. We can buy and sell various different resources there should we need to. There's also a bank loan, but that's coming soon. Not there yet. I quite like the voiceovers and the characters in this. The aesthetic is really nice. It's got a really nice aesthetic. I think it's generally a very well put together game. Now we've got 2 options. Well, we've got 1 option here. We can go to the Ring of Death. So we're going to go to the Ring of Death. We've got some options here. We can go 1v1, 2v2, few versus many, or 1 versus few. We're going to go 2v2. So your matchup is always, well, I say always random. It's often random. So you've got two knighty boys there. I'm going to go with you and you. And we're going to see how that goes. You've got fairly limited ability to sort of influence the match. But what we can do, for example, we can say we really want to kill this guy. So we're going to kill him first. And you can also set sort of how your characters are going to target different. So for example, this guy we could say, yeah, definitely target, fight at enemies first. And we could potentially say attack support enemies first. So for example, you had a healer or something, we could say go and get those first. But other than that, we just have to go fight and see how it goes. So good start there. Taking a little bit of damage. Oh. And he's dead. Yeah, so if we had instant death on, permadeath, then he'd be dead. As with this guy, because, yep, he's dead. Okay, well, that would mean we'd be 2 gladiators down. As you can see, not ideal. You get nothing for a defeat as well. And that's, I mean, fortunately, because we didn't, priority points modified, that's fine. Because we didn't, we've still got our characters, but, you know, nothing helped. Now, we've got a gladiator, you know, the gladiator market does restock occasionally, but we have no money, so there's not much we can do. However, we do occasionally get events.
If some of your gladiators die, don't worry. Temple of Revival sits within the guild, resurrecting gladiators. But it takes some time. However, should you want to bring them back to life instantly, it will cost you mana crystals. Yes, even in the middle of championships. Comes in handy.
It does. Good. So we could try this again. We could go 1v1, see if that works. We could try the 2v2 again with a different lineup. But to be honest, maybe we go help raising the dead.
Some half-wit peasants have blocked the graveyard, preventing my necromancers from performing their work. I beseech you, gladiators, to clear the way.
So the High Necromancer wants our help to do something. We could say no. We could ask why they're blocking the graveyard.
The usual reason. Superstitious nonsense. They claim that raising the dead is a sacrilege, or something to that effect.
Isn't it?
Dead meat is dead meat. Once the soul forsakes the flesh, my church has rights to that meat. Besides, would they rather send their own children to guard the borders?
Guard
Yes,
borders?
I send dozens of undead each month to the borders. This blighted district just had to reside at the very edge with the Tyrell Kingdom.
So why did you come to this district exactly?
Those are the private matters of the church, young one.
Fine. Assume our kingdom of Andorian compensates you for your efforts?
They better. If they don't like it, they can learn how to raise the dead themselves.
Sounds fair to me. Okay, so we can just say, yep, we'll help. Obviously, this will annoy the people, but that's fine. And we're going to do that. We're going to do something like that. Let's see how this goes. Oh, good start. Yep, we're okay. I think we got this. See, our stamina's... I was going to say stamina was low, but actually it wasn't. He was just waiting for cooldowns.
That will give them something else to scream about.
Plus, you've got more bodies. Oh, so now we need to select... So we've got some options here. So we can get a softly enhanced ring. We've got an Elder Staff, a little bit more stamina, and intelligence. I'll grab that. And I want the money because we don't have much money, so we'll do that. Perfect. Okay, so now we can equip some stuff. So I'm going to go with... So yeah, your cooldowns are quite long. I mean, this one's 13. So if we give you intelligence, that will reduce that. And when you level up, you get 5 upgrade points, sort of like spend in stats and stuff. So obviously that helps. Now, my one complaint about this game is occasionally you go a long time without anything happening, and especially if you don't have a lot of money.
Half-wits are at it again, interrupting our raising rituals. Have you ever seen what a half-baked ghoul looks like? We had to bash his demented brains in as a mercy. Now, I would like you to do the same to those peasants.
No problem. So if you don't have much money, there's not much you can do, then you're not, you're just waiting for time to go by, and that's not that interesting. So ideally, our warg will probably come in and kill this granny. The grannies are actually quite dangerous because they're chucking knives all over the place. Eat the granny. Oh, God. Poor Tsar. He just went down like a ton of bricks. Granny down. Okay. Okay, poor Tsar. He just got absolutely wrecked. Jeez.
This better keep them away for good.
It better. Okay, so we can go, we'll take a light breastplate, and I'm tempted to get the worn out boots as well, but I think I'll take the cash. I could give this to Doggo. That's going to give him a bit more health. Make him a bit more tanky, because, he's a bit squishy. So we've got a championship coming up, so we definitely probably want to take that. And we've got another quest.
By the manor, they won't give it a rest. We will have to spill more peasants' blood and teach them the price of interfering with matters of the church.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up another gladiator, I think. I'm tempted to get another one of you Macy boys. So we're going to buy you. And then we'll go, that's what gladiators are for. So we've got 4 this time. See how this goes. Okay, Zar's doing a little bit better. He's nomming. That's fine. He's doing it. And they're down.
Now we'll see if they feel like doing any more peaceful protesting.
So I'll take the money and a bamboo bow. It was a peaceful protest then?
Oh, the worst kind. Passive-aggressive criminals.
We need to work on our communication, old man. Okay, so we've got our gladiator wages coming up, so that's going to cost us 30, which is fine. We have plenty of money. What about the item market? Have we got anything here? So we could get the... I kind of like getting a little bit more health early on. The intelligence is quite good as well, so we'll grab that. So we'll grab that. You could potentially do with... Okay, let's give you that. And we'll give you that. I'm tempted to give you that. There we go. Okay, so far so good. Gladiator wages. And we now have the championship, so we can go to the graveyard over here. And we can go to the next fight. So we get an option here. So we can fight either a knight and a hunter, a level 2 knight and a hunter, or a level 2 knight and a hunter. Now, depending on which one you pick, you get different rewards. The difficulty is listed here. Obviously, these are the best rewards. So you get the green rewards, blue rewards, and the purple rewards, as is tradition ever since World of Warcraft. So we're going to go with this one here, because this is the same as doing this one. Yep. In fact, this guy's even a vampire, so that would probably be worse. So we're going to do this one, because that gives us a better reward, and we can pick 3 peeps to do. So we can do that one, and we'll go with Zar, and we'll go fight. Get him, boys. If your gladiator dies in a match, then you won't have him for the rest of the tournament. Ah, no, we lost him. So what we could do is revive him. So we could use a mana crystal to revive him. Let's see what the next fight is. So it is 2 knights and a hunter. So we're going to accept that. I'm going to do this. Oh, Zar got instantly wrecked. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is really bad. Ouch. It does feel like melee characters early on are very strong. And I think the doggos are quite weak early on as well. So we'll revive them. We'll go to the next fight. It is a level 3. Okay, that's you know what? A level 3 hunter boy is actually fine. Because it's much easier to kill 1 guy than it is 3. See? If you outnumber them, it's pretty easy. And Klibs the Scalper has leveled up. So what we can do here is we can give him a little bit more health, maybe. I'm going to go with, I think, reducing the cooldown is probably quite useful. And then we'll go with a little bit of extra strength, because he does get more strength when he kills stuff. So we'll do that. Fine. Right, next fights. 2 knights and a thingy, that's fine. We can match them with mace boys, and then we've got that. Nice. My favourite character is actually like a flamey mage that can do a lot of damage, but they're very squishy early on, like very squishy. So I think I'm going to give you more intelligence, because reducing that cooldown is, in my opinion, probably the most important thing for you. And we've got a level 2 knight and a thingy. Excellent. That knockdown's pretty strong. And you've leveled up, so we will go with a little bit of extra health there. You don't seem to. Your stamina cost is quite low, so I'm not super worried about that. And I guess we'll just do something like that. There we go. And you've got right. Okay, so we've got a doggo here. The doggos do like to rush through and try and eat your range characters. So if we do something like this, they'll be quite nice and tight. And there we go. That's fine. The doggo, in numbers, the doggos can be quite dangerous. So we've completed the arena. We have 5 of these little cards, so we can open those. And we got 460 and 130 stone. We've got an elder staff and a carrot, and we can collect those and then continue. Now we do have some consumables, and consumables are, well, as I say, they consume them, and what that means is that when they use them in the next match, and then they're gone. I have kind of a problem with this as well, because obviously you've only got the item market, so we have a couple of apples here, but I find it because the matches are very, very short independently. We just fought 5, and I would have to have restocked for every single match had I wanted to deal with that. I think it's more sort of aimed at if you're having trouble with a particular battle, then you can go and, you know, stick some consumables in, but to be honest, I very rarely worry about them. I find that if I'm stuck on a match, it's usually because I'm not level enough, or alternatively, I don't have the right matchup. So, you know, I'm going to get a fire tower because I like the flamey ladies. So we're going to go with that. We're going to go with that. We're going to go to the Gladiator Market. Do we have any flamey ladies? We do not. I could spend some money, but to be honest, that seems like a waste. Plus, of course, we don't actually have enough space, so we could upgrade to get 4 more slots there. There's nothing really there I want, so you guys are all pretty tricked out. I could go with that, maybe. Reduce the cooldown there. It's not super useful, but we'll do it anyway. We could go with a 2v2. So we could do something like that. See, the knife and knockback is quite nasty. That's a bit close. Let's get a little consumable there, a little bit of cash. I've also got a little bit of a problem with the Ring of Death, because there was so once you've completed a match, you can see it ticks it, and then next week you can come back and do, say, I don't know, 1v1. Fine. I had a 1 versus many where I tried it twice, and both times I just got my ass kicked. And my character was quite highly, I was like level 10, and I was taking on like 9 level 1s, and they were kicking my ass. And so because I couldn't complete that one thing, I couldn't do anything else. So I basically started ignoring the Ring of Death, which obviously gave me less events overall, which, again, kind of a problem. Occasionally you will get these discounts. So, for example, we now have a discount on some of the characters here. So we get a new doggo, maybe, and they will also level up. I would actually like a Healy Lady, so I'm wondering if we could build the Healy Lady building. We can buy that. Then we can go to Gladiator Market, and we can have a look. So you got a twisted ankle, which is not necessarily a big problem, because you don't need to move around very much. You're just an idiot. So I'm going to go with Catra the Rejuvenator, because she's baseline. She has nothing wrong with her. She's absolutely fine. We've got spreading rumors.
I need you to spread some truth. Round up your gladiators and get them talking about how the Church of the Dead's dark arts are responsible for the feral undead rising. Get those blighted peasants off my back.
So, of course, if we do this mission, now you'd think that it would kind of annoy the High Necromancer, but he doesn't really care. It will just improve the Baroness's opinion of us. So, sure. We'll do that. Hasn't actually done anything. Right, few versus... Right, so we can do this one. So this means we've got a level 6 hunter there, but we will have 3 people that we can use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our healer in there. Hopefully he won't pick her off first, but she can heal and shield. And you can see, yep, he's getting his ass kicked. Down he goes. Can open up that one. Get a agility potion. And a little bit of extra cash, of course. Check the item market. Not really anything there that I really want. You've leveled up, which is really, really nice. We're going to get you more health, I think. Stamina, again, I'm not super worried about that, but I will give you a little bit more intelligence and a little bit more strength. Something like that, I think. The item markets. We've got an Orb of Blessing. Direct damage or healing against blessed targets is increased. We've also got leather gloves, which increases health and agility, which might be quite useful. So you know what, I'm going to pick those up. Because agility, quite good for the healer. You see, their heal is really slow. So giving them more agility means that they can cast it more often. And more intelligence means that they can cast it. It does more healies. They don't really need strength, though. The only thing they need strength for is a melee attack. But to be honest, they don't really... You know, if your healer is melee attacking, you're doing it wrong.
A young boy wielding immense mana capabilities was discovered at one of the farms, but his brainless family won't give him away for training. They want him to be a farmer like the rest of their pitiful lineage.
Ugh, useless. He doesn't want to be a necromancer?
He shall have absolute choice of any dark arts he likes. He's a true prodigy child.
But is that what he really wants?
He's 10 years old. What does he know about what he wants? What, I ask, do you think is a better future for him and the kingdom? Another petty peasant? Or a genius spellcaster?
Fair point. So we've got 3 shieldy boys, we've got a stabby boy, and we've got 2 grannies. Ugh, grannies are the worst. They really do love picking off people from long range, so I'm going to put you back there and hope you're not in range to do anything nasty. Please don't throw daggers at the priestess! Okay, I think we've got this. That's it. Shank her when she's down. That's the best time to shank a granny is when she's on the ground after you just whacked her in the head. That'll come up at my inevitable court case.
Good work.
Thanks.
He will one day thank us all.
Will he, though? He doesn't look very happy right now.
You mercilessly slaughtered his family in front of his own eyes, and then kidnapped him. Would you be happy?
That's a fair point. Your wording felt very different when you were asking us to do this. Okay, I'm going to get the... I mean, both of these are quite nice. 8 intelligence, 6 intelligence, 2 agility. I'm going to take that. So, I'm going to give you that one to reduce your cooldowns, and intelligence is pretty good for you, isn't it? So actually, I might swap that out for that. Seems fine. Gladiator Market, do we have any flamey girls? Nope, not yet. Let's see if we've got any flamey girls now. Yes, we do. Sinel Sunkissed. Sinel the Firebringer. You have broken ribs, so not you. You're in. Now, the Pyromancer only has 1 spell, but it's really good because it's basically an AoE attack. So, the more strength you have, the more direct damage it does, and the bigger the AoE, but your intelligence increases the dot effect. So basically they have a dot effect over 5 seconds, sets them burning, and that'll do more damage based on the amount of intelligence you have. So it can basically take out an entire squad. However, it's quite costly stamina-wise, and it's quite slow, and the Pyromancer is quite squishy. So it's a very, you know, they're very much a glass cannon. Can we do this? Do we do 1 versus 1? Let's do 1 versus 1. So if we go with, say, you. Yeah, we can. Ooh. The doggo's dodging! Oh, that was so close. the dog has a dodge ability, and it was just using it so quickly that I couldn't actually stab the dog. Oof.
A pack of feral ghouls roam the forest near the village. I'd like you to dispose of them before further blame is foisted upon me.
What are feral ghouls, Slen?
Feral undead are those who have risen on their own and behave like wild beasts. They began to appear around a decade ago, along with the Crimson Mists.
Tell me more about the Crimson Mists.
It all started about 10 years ago, growing more and more common. Various rumors circulate as to their cause.
Kind of
Some
rumors.
say that the High Necromancer is to blame, as his dark arts disturb the balance of nature. Others claim it's due to the influence of the Baroness.
Influence of the Baroness?
Well, it ain't customary in these parts for an elven woman to rule, much less a lowborn one. Suffice to say, the common folk don't see eye to eye with her.
Tell me more about the Baroness.
Sure, like I said, she's a lowborn elf who charmed the Baron's son. When the elder Baron died, his son married her despite her social status.
How romantic.
Well, long story short, the young Baron died too, from a blighted forest troll of all things. Thus, the rulership of the Deadwoods fell to her.
That took a turn. Are normal undead any better?
Normally, necromancers raise the undead and bind them to mana crystals. Whoever holds the crystal, can control the undead.
What do they do with all these undead on leash?
They sell most of them to the Andarian army to help keep the borders safe. That's why the church is allowed to raise the dead without any restrictions.
What borders? What
You're
are
really
borders?
new here, huh? Our district Deadwoods borders the kingdom of Tyrell, and relations between our kingdom of Andarian and Tyrell are not to be admired.
I'm going to be honest, Slen. At this point, I would be concerned that I've suffered a head injury or something. I see, I came to the wrong district to start a guild.
Well, but the thing is, they don't shy away from selling their undead to anybody who offers a better price.
Business is business. Alright, we're on it. So, we're going to go with a Macy boy, and I'm going to get our Pyromancer. Ah, love the AoE. Love them Pyromancers.
Excellent work!
Thanks.
There's nothing worse than cleaning up after another's mess.
Tell me about it. Whose mess do you think it is?
The Church of the Dead, of course. But that schemer, the High Necromancer, sows rumors in the minds of the gullible townsfolk, pinning the blame on me.
Oh, devastating.
He bloviates about how a red-haired, low-born she-elf witch will bring doom upon us, feeding into the superstitions that already surround me.
Nasty. Okay, we're going to take the simple mage robe and the money. So let's give you that, because that's going to mean you do more damage. And I'm tempted to get rid of Zar, because he's just not very good. I'm sorry, Zar. I'm so sorry, but you're not. You're just not very good, mate. I'm really sorry. So, as you can see, there's, occasionally events will come up, but we have long stretches where there's just not really anything to work towards.
We located one of the High Necromancer's rumor whisperers hiding in the village. I need you to take care of him.
Rumor whisperer?
Yes. The dangerous men who spread even more dangerous lies.
What lies?
Lies about a red-haired, low-born she-elf witch who is going to bring doom upon the regions.
And the red-haired, low-born she-witch elf would be you? I mean, we know it is. I see. So, sure, let's do that. So we've got one guy, he has 200 health. How much damage do you do? 20 and then 92. I mean, as long as you get 2 shots off, you'll be fine. Go for it. Just run away. Now you're fine. I knew she'd be fine. I had faith.
No more whispering from him.
No. I do like the mage. I'm going to take both of these. Both of these things. Oh, good. Good. Now, we do have probably enough to... Do we have enough to upgrade? Oh, we need more wood. Okay, well, we've got another championship coming up. So now we can do... So we've done the graveyard. We can now do the farms. The farm's slightly more difficult, but it will give us more experience. It'll upgrade the shop and everything like that. So, got 4-4... Oof. A pyromancer. That's nasty. I mean, that's potentially more nasty, though. So we're going to go that one. Let's get the warg in there. That's it. Eat the thingy. We got this. Everyone, stay alive. Everyone stayed alive. I told them stay alive. They did. And we've also got some rank ups, which is good. Let's give ourselves a little bit more health and a little bit more of that. I'm not worried about the stamina with these guys, but having a 1 second cooldown, very good. Let's go with that. Okay, we've got a granny, a pyromancer, and 2. Oof! I mean, that's a lot of range damage in there. Let's do something like that. Okay, so far so good. We've got the shield up. Nice. I do love my pyromancer. And you get leveled up. I'm going to put you to level... Yeah, you're going to be intelligence of 5, and I'm going to give you a little bit more health. I think stamina's okay for the moment, and then we'll give you a little bit more strength. Something like that. And you get a little bit more health. Stamina's fine. Let's bring that down to below 1 second. There is a minimum, so you can go to a minimum of 0.5, and we're also going to do something like that. 5 pitchfork boys. I could take out 5 pitchfork boys. Especially if we draw them into one position. Get them all. Burn them all. So the fights are over very, very quickly. So we've got 4 hunters. We've got 4 peeps. I'm going to go something like that and hope they don't all try and shoot the pyromancer at the same time. We're okay. Oh, there's lots of traps all over the place, though. But we're fine. Just a little bit more health. The stamina cost is... Just spread our love across the different... I always like having a couple a bit more, because you can get squished if you're not careful. If you're just that little bit too squishy, you're level 6. Oof. So that's fine. And you. Pyromancer is just so good for dealing with like groups of enemies. I'm going to go with... You kind of need more intelligence, don't you, to bring that cooldown down. I mean, more agility would be good as well to increase your accuracy, but I think getting the cooldown... Okay, this is a little bit dicey because these wargs could all attack a Healy character. And we're probably going to take a big old fireball to the face, but... That's okay, we got this. So obviously if we put our support characters back here, the wargs would have just gone straight for them, and then our Macy boys would have had to run back to try and deal with them. The wargs would have been faster, and they'd be dealing with... So it would be nasty. So just trying to make sure that we've got all of our people grouped so that those wargs are still remain into melee combat with our Macy guys. So we can open all that. So we get 830 gold, 25 mana crystals, Frostblade, and a minor agility potion. Which is nice. It's good. So the Frostblade will increase melee damage against frozen targets. We don't currently have the Pyromancer, but if we got a Pyromancer, of course, they freeze targets in an AoE, kind of like the Pyromancer does a dot, and that would mean that our melee boys could potentially do more damage against them. Something like that. And now that we've completed the farm, we'll get missions to go and do the temple. At the temple, you get the bridge, I think it's the bridge, and then you get the market square or something. So you kind of like uncover the map as time goes on. So overall, a very good, fun little game. It's a lot of fun upgrading your characters. As you can see, we should start getting some better items in here. So we've got simple mage robe there, leather hat there, some slightly better consumables, and an iron longsword. And your items get more powerful, and so you have to sort of like juggle what you're going to give to your character, what stats do you want them to have. Some of the items later on become, you can get like plus 20 agility bows and stuff. So you can have, you can really sort of like trick out your characters with all sort of fun things. Make sure they've got the stats you want. For example, my Pyromancer was just, he got that first fireball off, everyone just burned to death. That was how it went. And this game is fairly cheap at only £7.50. Basically nothing for a game these days. That's really good. And they're also got plans for the future. If you look at the guild, you can see in future updates we plan to add options to buy buildings that would do more than just let you hire new types of gladiator, like training hall, meditation temple, and more. We'd love to hear your ideas too. So they've definitely got some updates lined up, which is great, because currently this game is very good. I think if they could just sort of like balance maybe the downtime you have a little bit better, like just have some, like, I don't know, have something, some events you can send your characters off to, just to go and like do messages or something, like send. The other slight problem is that because your characters heal quite quickly, even at high levels it's not particularly problematic, and because you don't have that many events, you don't normally have to worry too much about your characters being injured, so you tend to send the same characters on the missions. So you don't really have an A and B team, or you have to swap characters in, because most of the time you just don't have to worry about them getting injured. Of course, if you had permanent death on, then, well, we would have replaced our roster about 8 times over by this. It can be quite brutal. And you can lose characters just through sheer, being unlucky. Your character's almost dead, they're just about to maul the last person, he happens to tread on a trap and kills himself, and you're like, well, does that feel fair? Not really. So I don't feel like the permanent death is a great option. But I think there needs to be some way to maybe like make your characters be wounded a little bit longer. Take a little bit longer to heal, maybe. So you have to have like maybe you have your main healer, but you have a secondary one just in case she's injured. That kind of thing. That would be good. More events. That would be good. However, with that said, it's still a very good game as it stands. I've really enjoyed playing a little bit of Gladiator Guild Manager. It's pretty good. It's on Steam. If you like the idea of this, maybe give it a look. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.